Stop right now. Don't rewind. Don't look at the comments. Ask yourself one question. Did you really choose to play this video? Or did your finger automatically tap the screen simply because the image looked familiar? Most people live their lives like passengers in the back seat of a taxi. They think they're driving the car, but someone else is holding the wheel. Evolution. Habits. Neural connections formed 10 years ago. It's a scary statistic. According to research from Duke University, up to 45% of our daily actions are not decisions. They are automatic. We call it the comfort zone. Science calls it the power of habit. And if you don't understand how this mechanism works right now, you risk waking up in 20 years and realizing that your life has passed you by while you were sleeping. Today, we won't talk empty words about motivation. We'll break down the hard neuroscience of why you're stuck in Groundhog Day. We'll break down the psychology of change at the molecular level. You'll learn how to crack this code and regain control. Have you noticed this about yourself? In the morning, you brush your teeth and don't even remember how you picked up the toothbrush. You drive to work or school along your usual route and suddenly realize that you've already arrived, but you don't remember the journey at all. Your feet walked on their own. Your hands turned the steering wheel on their own. Your body was here, but where were you? Or this moment in the evening, you are tired, you pick up your phone just to check your messages. An hour passes. You scrolled through your feed, watched some videos, but didn't get a single ounce of benefit. A strange feeling of emptiness arises inside you. You seem to have rested, but you feel even more tired, and it gets even worse. You promise yourself, starting Monday, I'll start a new life. You are determined, but Wednesday comes, stress at work happens, and you find yourself in the evening with the same unhealthy food, the same cigarette, or the same mindless procrastination. Inside, everything tightens with anger at yourself. You think, I have no willpower. I am weak. This feeling of powerlessness is the most destructive. You look at others who seem to have this secret ingredient of personal growth, and you don't understand what's wrong with you. Why do you understand everything in your head, but your body keeps doing the same old thing? Listen carefully. Right now, take that burden of guilt off yourself. You are not weak. You are not broken. You are a biological machine optimized for survival, not happiness. Your brain is the most energy-intensive organ in your body. Taking up only 2% of your body weight, it consumes 20% of all your energy. For evolution, this is an unaffordable luxury. Ancient humans needed to conserve calories to avoid starvation. Therefore, nature created an ingenious energy-saving mechanism. As soon as an action is repeated several times, the brain stops spending precious energy on it in the prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for logic and willpower. It transfers control to the basal ganglia. This is an ancient structure deep within the brain. The basal ganglia work automatically. They don't need to think. They just follow the script. This is your autopilot. This is the power of habit. Your brain is not lazy. It is efficient. It tries to save your life by conserving energy. The problem is that the basal ganglia don't care whether a habit is useful or harmful. They don't care if you're driving a car or mindlessly scrolling through your feed. The main thing is that it's familiar and requires no effort. It's a vicious circle. You want change. You use your willpower, prefrontal cortex. But as soon as you get tired or stressed, your smart brain shuts down and control is taken over by the ancient autopilot. That's why life transformation seems so difficult. You're not fighting laziness. You're fighting millions of years of evolutionary biology. But if we know how the mechanism works, we can figure it out. Now you're going to get not just advice, but a specific algorithm for taking control. A tool that switches the brain from automatic to manual mode when you really need it. We use knowledge about how mindfulness practice works, but without esotericism and from the point of view of neurophysiology. But first, I'm going to ask you a pointed question. Why do 90% of people who start running in the morning or learning a language give up after 2 weeks? The answer is simple and harsh. They try to change their behavior without changing the trigger. They try to rewrite the program without entering programmer mode. Remember Hebb's law from neurobiology. Neurons that fire together, wire together. If every time you come home, you sit down on the couch and pick up the remote, a thick neural cable is laid in your head. Door of the house, couch, remote control, dopamine. Trying to simply not do it by force of will is like trying to stop a train by standing in its path. You will be crushed. To change this, we need to implement what is called in behavioral psychology pattern interruption. You know that feeling when you're walking down the street, lost in thought, and suddenly someone claps their hands loudly or calls out to you? You flinch. Your autopilot is disrupted. You instantly return to reality. Have you seen how a person's behavior changes when they find themselves in a completely new environment? For example, in an unfamiliar country, all their old habits are temporarily disabled because the brain cannot find familiar triggers. They are forced to engage their consciousness. You've probably noticed that the most brilliant ideas don't come when you're sitting at your desk and straining your brain, but when you're doing something unusual or changing context. We are getting to the main point. Psychology of change asserts that we cannot remove an old habit, but we can rewrite the response to the trigger. Here is a powerful thought that should become the foundation of your new thinking. Autopilot is not the enemy, it is a servant. But right now, it thinks it is the master. Your task is not to kill autopilot. You will go crazy controlling every breath, but to reprogram the navigator. How do you do this technically? Step 1. Hunt for triggers. For the next 3 days, your task is not to change your life, but simply to observe. Switch to explorer mode. The moment you catch yourself doing something you didn't want to do, eating too much, staring at your phone, ask yourself, what happened a second before that? Was it boredom? Was it a visual cue? A notification on the screen? Was it a certain time of day? You need to find the start button for your programs. Without this, personal growth is impossible. Step 2. The 5-second rule. This is a technique popularized by Mel Robbins, but it is based on the workings of the prefrontal cortex. As soon as you feel the urge to do an old action, or not do a new one that you should do, start counting down. 5 and us, 4, 3, 2, 1. And on the count of 1, physically move from your place. Stand up, turn away, put down your phone. Counting switches the brain. It interrupts the automatic loop of the basal ganglia and forcibly activates the prefrontal cortex. This is the very manual control. At this moment, you have a window of opportunity of a few seconds to choose a new action. This is true mindfulness practice in action, not sitting in the lotus position, but controlling your impulses in the moment. Step 3. Create friction. Environment design is more important than willpower. If you want to stop living on autopilot when it comes to content consumption, make that autopilot difficult. Remove social media icons from your home screen. Hide the remote in a closet. Make it so that your zombie brain is too lazy to run the old program. Conversely, put a book or sports gear in the most visible place. Reduce friction for the actions you want. Let's delve into neurochemistry so you understand the seriousness of the process. When you live on autopilot, you are most often on cheap dopamine, the anticipation of a like, the sweet taste of food, buying something unnecessary. These are quick peaks of pleasure, followed by a crash, the dopamine pit. It is in this pit that you feel apathy and a lack of meaning. True life transformation begins with the transition to slow dopamine. This is the pleasure of completing a difficult task, exercising, learning something new. This fuel burns longer and provides stable energy. But to switch over, you have to go through the valley of discomfort, a period of withdrawal when your brain craves a quick high. During this period, you will feel like everything is pointless, that the power of habit is too strong. Your brain will throw out the most logical excuses. Come on, one time doesn't count. You're tired, you deserve it. In psychology, this is called rationalization. Your intellect begins to serve your addictions. Don't believe these thoughts. It's just the voice of your autopilot, which is afraid of losing control. There is another critically important aspect: your environment and mirror neurons. We are social primates. We copy the behavior of those around us. If all your friends live on autopilot, complain about life, and discuss other people, your mirror neurons will copy this behavior pattern, no matter how much you resist. You cannot become conscious in a room full of sleeping people. Sometimes, in order to wake up, you need to leave the room. This is the harsh truth of the psychology of change. You may need to limit your communication with those who pull you into sleep and seek out those who are already awake. Look at it globally. Time is the only irreplaceable resource. Every minute spent on autopilot is a minute that did not exist for you as a person. You were just functioning. You were a biorobot. How many years of your life are you willing to give to autopilot? 5 years, 10 years, or the rest of your life? Awareness is not a destination. It is a muscle. At first, it is weak. You may only be able to be in the moment for a couple of minutes a day. That's okay. Don't beat yourself up for slip-ups. Slip-ups are part of the process. The main thing is to get back on track. Every time you catch yourself thinking, "I'm on autopilot right now," and switch gears, it's like doing reps at the gym. You're strengthening your neural control connections. It will get easier each time. Imagine your life in a year if you start applying these principles today, not on Monday. Today. In a year, you won't recognize yourself. Your reactions will change. Your calmness will become steel. Your ability to focus on the task at hand will increase exponentially because you will stop wasting mental energy on background noise. This is personal growth in its purest form, not reading books, but changing the structure of your brain. Right now, you feel elated. That's dopamine from receiving new information. But be careful. Information overload is also a disease. Knowing and not doing is the same as not knowing. Right now, choose one micro-action, not a global goal to change your life, but one action. For example, tonight, I won't pick up my phone an hour before bed. Just one. And do it using the 5-second rule and trigger elimination. There is a way out of autopilot mode. The door is not locked. You just need to make an effort to push it open rather than wait for it to open by itself. This video is your wake-up call. But whether you stay awake is entirely up to you. If this analysis was helpful and you're ready to work on yourself in a mature way, without illusions, let me know. A like is your signal to the algorithms that you want smart content. Subscribing is your contract with yourself, not to miss important information. Write the phrase, "I am in control," in the comments if you have watched up to this point and accept the challenge. This will be your first conscious action. See you in reality.